Hello, my name's Phoenix. Welcome to the Radical Solutions tent at Boomtown. We're going to show you around the Resistance exhibition project we've been working on for the last year and a half or so. Basically it's about archiving history of protest for the last 25 odd years, and also getting groups together to organise into the future to help the environment in various ways. So we come in this way, we'll show you some of the beginning of it. So the exhibition kind of comprises three main things. It's photos, video and leaflets, paperwork and posters from those years of protest, 1990 to 2017. And we're also recording people's MP3 recorders there, their memories of protests and stuff. So this is the Resistance exhibition. Really, a lot of things started back in the early 1990s, 92. This is Twyford Down road protest. A group called the Dongas tribe started gathering there, just a small group of people camped on the land near Winchester where they were going to build a road through. And just through some of them jumping on diggers and slowing up the destruction, it actually started a whole massive road protest movement that spread all around the country. This is the famous photographer, this is the poll tax demo, poll tax riot, famous photographer David Hoffman. So we got about 10 different photographers, professional photographers who put their work in. We're also collecting disobedient objects, different people, things people use like D-locks they use in different places, and bolt crops or whatever. So we've got a little bit of history there. There's a long history of uprising and resistance and revolt from the Magna Carta, which is a big push by people to get their rights back a long time ago from the early Norman overlords. Runnymede, Peasants' Revolt, the Levellers, the Diggers, the Chartists, the Suffragettes, onto Greenham Common and the Free Festivals. There's a long tradition in this country of civil disobedience and resistance. So this is like the first action in 1991 in England. Earth First came over from America and they blockaded this timber yard and went in and they basically took timber from there and took it to the police station and said this timber's been stolen from South America. We've got a letter from the chief of the tribe saying their wood's being stolen. And the police didn't know whether to arrest the people who'd stolen the wood from the timber yard, or they were saying go and arrest the timber yard for stealing it from Brazil, kind of thing. So early road protests, I suppose around this section here, see some of the pictures here. This again down here is Twyford Down. Digger diving tactic, people just running along, jumping on the diggers while they were moving, or as soon as you were on them they were supposed to turn off their engines and stop, so it stops them working for the day. Very good effective tactic to stop destruction of the environment. People will also go and climb onto diggers and D-lock on, or go and do some naughty things called pixieing, which would stop the engines working and things. This is Stanworth Valley. It's an amazing tree village got created. The tactic of building tree houses came around George Green at the M11 and then on into Salisbury Hill. So this is the M11. Claremont Road, most famous eviction, was like 300-400 people up on top of a row of about 30 houses in Leighton in the M11 East London. Resisted for a very long time. That was a 3-day eviction to try and get rid of them. Over here you got, they hoisted, this is in Scotland, Pollock, Free State, I think, Retton and Essex. Okay, so basically they suspend a car in the trees as part of the protest. This is Newbury, our friend Lumpy Steve sitting in, they chopped down 10,000 trees in a very short time. It's over 3 months really, 10,000 trees chopped down to save them about 4 minutes on a bypass journey. Today we occupied Stonehenge. It was VE Day. Basically, after after the Beanfield, they stopped people going to Stonehenge for many years. Big police blockades and arresting people. So we decided to create an action on VE Day, Victory Against Europe, Victory in Europe Day, Victory Against the Fascists. And the idea was it wouldn't look very good in the media if the police started beating everyone up like they've been doing on VE Day when they went in. So English Heritage allowed it. And then they managed to get through King Arthur a European court ruling saying that pagans and people of the old religion should have their right to go there on summer solstice and equinox and all that kind of thing. So some more road protests here. This is Newbury, tree houses and lots of climbing ropes and lines where people would suspend themselves up in the air. And they had to get a big operation in. You see how much police and security they had to down there. And this was the big win after like 3 or 4 years of organising against them from 92 to 96. There are about 50, 60, 70 camps up and down the country, all over. We need to go that way with the fracking camps as well, but epic battle helped to defeat the government's £26 billion road building policy programme, cut down to £8 billion due to the massive resistance building up across the country. So by direct action, by people jumping on bulldozers, building tree houses, building tunnels, suddenly the government cut 2/3 of their road programme that was going to destroy all these trees and beautiful nature and whatever it was. And we were always campaigning for better public transport, better solutions where people use their cars less, pollute less, electric vehicles, whatever it is. So this was Reclaim the Streets, something that came out of the road protests, Claremont Road street parties. The first, this is a recipe how to do it, step 1 to 10, get your mates together, make some flyers, get in touch. You can find it on the Reclaim the Streets website. So the first one there was organised out of the Rainbow Centre, the big old church we supported in Kentish Town. Big community centre for 2.5 years. And the thing is, in Reclaim the Streets, it went round London, then round the world. So there was ones in North and South London, then it went to Brighton and Leeds and Manchester, and there was a big one in Birmingham, the G8 Summit. One of the culminations of that really for Reclaim the Streets was June 18th. It was a massive carnival in the city of London. The London International Futures Exchange got, the whole crowd broke into. This is all the city traders up there. They were throwing money out at people, and this is the police trying to push people back. But Reclaim the Streets, very successful tactic. Big street parties using massive sound systems to bring in lots of people. This is the first Camden Street party. We blocked the road with like a couple of cars driving into each other very slowly, like 2 miles an hour. And then we got out kids' play pit and climbing frame and sand area, and created a community space in a road, so people could reclaim it for a day and create community space. This is a big famous one, the M41 street party. 5,000 people raving on the M41 motorway, and under these ball gowns they were digging up the road to plant trees. This was the March for Social Justice, where we linked up with the Liverpool Dockers. Big march. We were going to occupy the empty Environment Agency that day, but I think the police rumbled it and stopped the crowd getting through there. Camden Street Party, that one there. So this is a little bit about tactics, D-locks and stuff. You see this lady here has got a D-lock around her neck. It's a protest about the Criminal Justice Act down on Parliament. Operation Emily, we all dressed as suffragettes. Police didn't want to arrest us because they looked too silly. This is tripod tactic. You see here someone using a D-lock to block up an entrance to a shop, office, gate, whatever it is. They're D-locked on there. The police got these big bulk robbers about that. Tripods, another tactic way of blocking the entrance. Bail-in set up in this tripod for over 3 days at Newbury. You have to go to poo in a carrier bag or something. Anyway, this is another one at oil refinery in Essex, where they block the entrance. We just had a direct action workshop to teach people about arm tubes. 2 or 3 people lie down with tubes with these arm tubes and carabiner clips in them, so that they block the entrance to an arms base or a corporation or whatever it is. This is building towers, scaffold tower. This is a big fortification that was built at Yorkley Court, occupied army base, bit of land. This is tunnel tactics. So basically, this is the very first early tunnel, pre-swampy tactic. A hole was dug and a filing cabinet were buried and the person inside it. Brave and slightly insane idea. This is a proper tunnel. This is an ex-miner who's 70 years old who came down to a Tesco's land development and helped us learn proper tunnel tech. The idea was that when the tunnels are there, the diggers can't move over because they're being told if you go there it could cause the tunnel to collapse and somebody be injured or die or hurt. So they have to evict the tunnel first, which sometimes costs millions and millions of pounds. They've got to get in men in black and all sorts of equipment and this, that and the other. And I think the tunnel, what was he telling me the other day? The record is over 30 to 40 days underground. And you imagine how much money it takes to keep 100 security upstairs and all the rest. The road protest went into anti-globalisation, anti-capitalism and the international summits. You had like the G8 in Birmingham, big street party, Reclaim the Streets. It went off round to different G8s and G20s around Europe. That's one in London. This one was G8 in Scotland. This one was the IMF World Bank protest in Prague, 2001. That's a samba band, Infernal Noise Brigade. They're more on the spiky end of the team. So there were a few different routes went around Prague. Still, yeah, been doing good. Going up, yeah. So basically, this was Seattle was a very big one. Reclaim the Streets posse were linked up with People's Global Action, and Seattle was a massive one. We actually shut down the whole conference so that delegates couldn't get in. This is the blue route. They got confronted by armoured personnel carriers and heavy police presence. It was hard for them to get through. It actually took up so many police that the pink route, which was here with Rhythms of Resistance, they're a samba band created by the Reclaim the Streets posse. Basically because the police were arresting sound systems and you couldn't get sound systems over the pavement. So the idea was to take music and move the crowd over the pavement and around, kind of thing. Started a fashion for pink and silver samba bands throughout Europe. So here we've got some photos and video. This is 1,200 protest photos playing there. Got a lot of different videos here, about 25 years from undercurrents videos of protest. I think this is a solutions section at the moment. We're creating a solutions exhibition onto this. So around here, similar days was the free festivals and free parties. This is Castle Morton Free Festival. And down here there was a big, they brought a law in to try and criminalise squatting, raving, travelling, hunt sabs, right to silence, reduce a load of our civil liberties. So there was 2 or 3 very thrilling, very big marches with sound systems, thousands of people protesting, but they still brought the law in anyway. But it brought together all these different groups, sound systems, hunt sabs, student groups, protest groups, and formed a massive alliance, which we call the Freedom Network, helped to bring people together. So yeah, amazing pictures there, free parties. This one I love, our one traveller is facing off his whole load of police. That's the Avon Free Festival thing. Just doing a walk around chatting about it. So this is a films one. This is Criminal Justice Act. So bringing that in and the big protest against that. It affects a lot of travelling people. This here is, travellers have been very hard hit by a lot of these laws. This is a Romany, like a horse fair that the police in Kent that been going on for hundreds of years, and then the police just said, because a few people have moved into there recently, you can't have your horse fair. They stopped them doing it, which is outrageous when we've been coming for hundreds of years. So it was some of the first people that got oppressed by the Nazis were, as well as Jewish people, it was gypsies and travellers and gay people and alternative people were suppressed and arrested first, and you've got to protect the people on the margins of your society, travellers and alternative people, because when they take them out, then they come for everyone else. So this is squatting and housing. We had a much bigger exhibition, Save Our Squatting exhibition, unfortunately got evicted, so this is a smaller version. It's the old Rainbow Centre. We squat a big old church, organised a lot of actions. Squats over the years have really helped to bring together a lot of actions and events and logistics, paint banners and organise meetings and social centres and legal community centre spaces, but it's really key to have these organising spaces important. So there's a squatters handbook. There's a massive squatting movement, really started, what's this telling you about is the diggers back in 1649 called for everyone to have the vote, and about 100 different diggers camps all over. They just wanted to build their own homes and grow their own food. After World War II there was a big movement of squatters. Came back, all these ex-servicemen had their homes bombed and destroyed, so they went with their families and occupied luxury flats and occupied army camps, and created such a big wave of it. Actually, the Labour government agreed to let them carry on some form of legalised squatting about 48, 49. So this is a protest about in 2012, after the Criminal Justice Act 94/5. They didn't quite criminalise squatting then. They tried again here in 2012 and they did criminalise residential squatting. So this is a protest on Ken Clark's roof. This is occupying the Royal Mint last New Year or Christmas or 2 ago, protesting about homelessness. Also, we wanted to protest about the banking system, how rigged it was, fractional reserve banking. So this is a little animal rights section. Right, intense photos there. Coming on round, moving a bit swifter. Alright. Sorry guys, just going to point to these. So this is Black Lives Matter. We kind of try to diversify the exhibition in various ways. So this is Black Lives Matter and migration, and big movements going on in America and over here now, people protesting and white allyship, people being more aware of race and gender and things like that. how some of us are more privileged in the different skins and bodies we're in, and how we need to help different groups with their rights and civil rights and this and the other. So here we've got Disabled People's Action Group. So disabled people, 10,000 disabled people have died due to the austerity cuts, and Disabled People's Action Group have been going on, locking on to Parliament and different places and doing protests about it. Had their disability living allowance cut, had their carers removed. 10,000 people have died because of the cuts. Yeah, I find that an absolutely atrocious figure. That's more than died in Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Our soldiers, obviously, nearly 1 million or 2 million people died in civilians and people out in those countries anyway from our illegal wars. This is another section here, on from the anti-globalisation movement. It moved into anti-war. I think it got so big with Seattle that the powers that be somewhere were so worried that there was these 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people turning up to protest at Seattle. There was a big kind of like, you know, with the illegal wars that were launched in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's illegal under international law to attack another country. So it's about the anti-war movement, obviously on from 9/11. Lots of different theories on that, but very dodgy evidence if you really look into it, what really went on. But this war then funded loads of arms dealers and spread war and extremism all around the world. And really we need to retool the whole planet away from arms dealing and into renewables and start helping people in bridge building rather than blowing the shit out of things. So various anti-war protests. We occupied Parliament Square as a protest against it. Because these wars are illegal. It's illegal for Britain to be doing what it's doing. Maybe we should stop and do part 2 to give them a break. Okay, so that's the end of part 1. Maybe we should say a little bit more about this one. We're going to stop. This is the 2 million people march. 2 million people in London marched against this war. It's the biggest global protest ever. 100 countries all over the world had massive marches, and our so-called democratic leaders completely ignored the will of that many people all over the world. They paid what, you know, basically there was a report before from BP and maybe it's Shell saying we need to grab the Iraqi oil before we lose our you know, thing on you know, have a monopoly on all the oil that's left. So okay, that's the end of part 1. We're going to show you part 2 so you can break it up. Have a good one. Resistance.